Ready? Clearing. All right, I am on the pre-shuffle in another dimension. So I'm just going to try and put it into words. I literally caught myself singing I'll Be Home for Christmas out loud, and I didn't realize I knew that many lines of it, but I saw like a past life energy of a masculine going to war and not being back in time for Christmas, or intending to be back in time for Christmas. It was very past lifey. Now, I know we're coming up to that time of year where Christmas is a factor, but there's this sense of nostalgia and being worlds apart that I'm not ruling out has a past life feeling. So today's reading, we're going to look at what are the masculines I heard frustrated about, or what do they feel like they're clearing right now consciously, because it feels like whatever this, I'm even hearing now Christed consciousness, whatever this righteousness is that's being anchored, it's bridging the distance between the counterparts, and it does feel like there's some kind of a homecoming, coming into union, aligning. Now, you may not resonate with those archetypes that have come through. This message is still for you. It's an example to consider. If it really doesn't resonate, or you're not interested in seeing how it can resonate, it may not be your reading. But there's something about, so let's see, the key factors: past lifey, going to war, the karmic battle, coming home for Christmas, or leading up to a birth of something new, redeeming. There's something there. So let's get into it. Thank you, Divine Creator, for using me as a channel of only the highest, most beneficial information coming through. Ace of Cups, unconditional love. What can we see for the divine masculines? What are they frustrated, clearing, processing, working through? What is this nostalgia? What is this worlds apart, at a distance, being taken away by karmic battle, war? What is this energy that we've got going on for them? How are they consciously processing this? And what do the divine feminines need to know on their side of the spiritual energy? What can they do? How can the divine feminines be navigating at this time to support their connections coming into union? What can we see for how the masculines are processing as it relates to the connection in general? Eight of Cups and Nine of Swords. Eight of Cups in the inverse is the gone but not gone energy. Nine of Swords in the inverse is calming the anxiety. I'm seeing a yo-yo again, really far from like when it goes to the furthest and then can come back. So it feels like the masculines are at that furthest reaches, and now with this I'll Be Home for Christmas theme song playing in my head still, it's like on repeat in there. It feels like they know that whatever they're doing right now is connected with what is keeping these connections from coming in so far. It's like their karma that they need to process. This is calming their anxiety. They're also beginning to anticipate being free from whatever has been in contrast to these connections. Light at the end of the tunnel. Hope. I'm hearing that they are somewhat concerned and still fighting ego over whether it's too late, a little too little too late. But they're defaulting to trusting the divine plan, the bigger picture, the way it has been unfolding, the blessing. When they're grateful for the blessings, their anxiety is calmed twofold. So not just the fact that they see that an end in sight, karmically speaking, and can now begin to see themselves finally coming forward to the feminines, but also that fear of rejection is being calmed. The anxiety connected with it being a little too late is being calmed by the blessing that they're aware of, the growth, the abundance, the progress as souls. Yeah, so they're kind of in a nostalgic energy. What can the feminines do? So we have the Six of Swords, which is choppy waters to smooth sailing. This is a lot of progress coming out of the back and forth, the tug of war, the karmic stuff, and all the thoughts associated with it. I just heard, when we can't have things the way that we see them being possible, sorry, dog hair, this always happens. Sometimes we try to detoxify things outside of our control by making excuses, by spiritual bypassing, by pretending it's not there, carpet sweeping, looking the other way. So many tactics that we do, throwing temper tantrums, all those controlled dynamics, one way or the other. And there's like a clearing of that, an end of that happening here. And it goes hand in hand with how you feminines are tuning into your masculine's developmental stage here. And how they are truly getting through some of this major life work. You can feel that things might legitimately start to smooth out in these connections. That's awesome. What can we see for the masculines regarding their counterpart? Oh, the King of Cups and the Mother of Swords. Okay. King of Cups in the inverse like this is like a lot of emotional energy, emotional availability, the floodgates bursting. Something that you've done or said, feminines, this can even just be your energetic standards. You're standing on business, and your masculines, even though they don't like it, it's creating the safety for them to really let their emotions come to the surface. They're likely not telling you because the feminine's back is to the masculine here. This is going on behind the scenes, but whatever you've done has actually given them permission to face some really deep emotion, pent up, wounding. By you believing in your connection and not settling for less, not cheapening it, they're facing things that they have not been required to face in any other connection, and you're not even doing it head on. A good leader leads, and people don't even know they're following. I don't know, Lao Tzu, I forget how that's worded, I always get it wrong. Oh my gosh. You know what I mean. Oh my goodness. The Emperor, putting down control issues. So exactly, this is hilarious because feminines, you're just doing you, and your standards are just your standards, and that's just the way it is. You're not doing it to manipulate or control. And so really look at how far you've come. There have been karmic scenarios in the past where you might have gone blue in the face trying to be the moral code for somebody. In this case, it just is what it is. Take it or leave it. Love me or leave me. And that real pure heart of yours, feminines, that is this emperor, this mastery, this internally strong and supported. You're giving yourself that inside, so you're not needing it from your masculine. This is allowing your masculine to get in touch with their feelings. For real. What can we see for the masculines on the heart space in these connections? Oh, look at that, feminines. You're coming down off the Emperor high horse, and your masculine is stepping into the Emperor shoes. Princess of Pentacles, bit by bit, experience by experience, moment to moment, circumstance by circumstance, rite of passage by rite of passage. These emperors are standing in their own righteousness. This tree is very upright, and these eclipses. So we had the eclipse season, October. So since October, since the eclipses, these masculines are filling the shoes that used to be too big. They're doing it one step at a time, one moment at a time, one decision at a time. They're choosing more righteously for their lives. So this is the procession of spiritual maturation that's playing out as they come towards you. 1111, nice. Come towards who? The Empress. So you're no longer wearing the pants in the family, Empresses. You're taking yourself out of your disintegrated karmic masculine role, and you're stepping into sitting down in magnetizing in Empress energy with your Emperor here. So the masculine feminine harmonic chord has been struck here. And this is also coinciding with that yo-yo imagery at the beginning of this reading, where the masculines are out there doing something emotionally, mentally, physically, and the feminine is here sitting in their truth, and the masculines are coming home for Christmas or home to this energy, into Christ consciousness, into love. So that's on the heart space, that they're feeling more supported. These masculines are feeling more supported in their righteousness. You know, we go through this on the journey of mastery where anything but righteousness, everything else is alluring and tempting and glittering. It may not all be gold, that kind of thing. And now righteousness feels like the right fit. And it's not a grandiose thing. It's moment to moment, choice by choice. And so that's why it's just Goldilocks, just right. It doesn't have to be more or less than it actually is. It's suited to the moment. And that is the energy that is most suited for an Empress. There's a great deal of mastery where we don't have to keep a record of the past in order to know how to respond in the now. That we're not so focused on the future that we forget to live wholly now. When we trust our ability to hear our voice, our heart's voice, our connection to source, when we cultivate that relationship within us, within our knowing, within our acknowledging the divine, there is nothing that we can't face in any moment and come through unscathed, with flying colors, abundantly. And the more we live in that, we walk in mastery. We have Emperor and Empress on the table here. You beautiful collective view. What can we see for how these masculines are processing in their heart of hearts with their feminine? Oh, the Son of Cups, this is the love offer. For this one, I'm getting this is them falling in love with themselves and finally seeing what you see in them, that divinity, that beauty. They're starting to see the beautiful aspects that set them apart from their own sin. They're starting to see their worthiness. Wow. And this is because they are taking the righteous action. It's not just theory anymore, or is becoming the new cool. Them doing the right thing is becoming the new cool. And 3 of Cups in the inverse, Lord of Abundance. Abundance is an inside job. Quantity over quality is not abundant. And so when they really take it to heart, that abundance is an inside job, and it stems from love, a clear conscience, righteousness, worthiness. So this is what's being calibrated in their heart. This is where these connections cease to be too good to be true, and this is where they accept the divine gift that they're being given by the divine through their feminine. They're no longer saying, oh God, you shouldn't have. Oh divine, oh universe. That Empress is everything I could have ever wanted, but you shouldn't have. They're no longer saying that. They're starting to see, oh, that actually makes sense. I really connect with that person in this way. I really think that person is the bee's knees. And also I heard adorable. So when they love themselves, they see why those quirky, sweet, beautiful, strong, capable, intelligent, brilliant, innovative, creative things about them that they secretly really do cultivate and enjoy, how those actually are complemented by you in every single way, feminines. What else can we see? How can the feminines do this? Do the inner work to see those very things about yourself that you adore. You know, this is the internal self-soothing that does not require someone else to accept us or approve of us for us to feel worthy. What can we see for what these masculines are processing regarding what they want to manifest here? Knight of Wands and the blockage. Ooh, oh, this is a sexy message. So, for many of these Queen of Swords, you've set healthy boundaries so as not to cheapen or accept scraps. You have set a higher standard, the sacred sexuality, sacred intimacy, safety in intimacy. You've not wanted to settle for less. So your masculine may have felt blocked. There's the eclipse that is referenced on the Emperor card. And so they have also, whatever played out around the eclipses or prior to the eclipse, it seems as though the emperors are finding a workaround through alignment for any kind of surface level blockages. So you may have set a boundary, intimate boundary. The reason I'm talking about this in sensual, intimate terms is because we have my player card, the Knight of Wands here, showing up in the inverse, which means the player weighs the hot and cold, the flimsy, the weak energy is truly the way forward. They see, these masculines see that they have to put down those cheapened ways, and that's the magic ticket for coming out of this distance or blockage. So really, when they step into righteousness and can meet you in righteousness, there's no blockage. If I'm seeing that the feminines are no longer receptive to player advances, to cheapened advances. They know their worth intimately. And these masculines understand now how to come correct. They have to honor in these ways, but it's not like a stretch of the imagination. It feels like they're feeling the shift. Viscerally, they can feel the alignment on a soul level. They concur. I just heard. How can the feminines continue supporting this? Believe in second chances. Believe that it can come back around. This is a huge cup of unconditional love, but this is things like the glory days, the heyday, the best in the past. In the inverse, this is the accepting that higher love, accepting that it could have been at a developmental stage, and now that things are ripening here, it can come back around the way that you may have sensed it to begin with. So divine feminines, you're very prophetic. You can see potential also. And so you may have understood what this was long ago, but now there is a readiness, a belief that this can kick off the right way for once, on the right footing, on a righteous footing, on a real footing. So if these masculines have held you at arm's length, it's because this readiness wasn't available. It wasn't time, because these lessons of appropriate boundaries needed to be reached. So this is not your reading if you know that you're not strong enough yet spiritually to live and embody the ideals here with personal boundaries coming from a place of righteousness, not depreciation or withholding. If it's not a power ploy, if it's not coming from a disintegrated place to withhold, this is celibacy before union. This is righteousness, spiritual progress, setting the stage for sacred sexuality. This is two masters coming in to make love for the rest of their lives and preparing for that. So these masculines want to manifest true sacred union here, and they are beginning to see themselves in that light, as capable, as doing it, as embodying these things. These masculines, for those who this reading applies, know that you are their person, and there are no other options. So for some, very few, they will still have other people in their orbit. For most, I see these masculines as single and these feminines as single at this stage of union, although there are always exceptions to those rules. What can we see for the actions these masculines are considering? It's hidden. Princess of Wands, they're in deep meditation for how this approach, next steps will roll out. But the moon here is saying, I'm not meant to share it with. It's hidden even from me. And the Princess of Wands is them in petitioning for higher guidance. So it may be even hidden from them, because we can't know what they don't know when we look at these energies, but they are in prayer and meditation. So masculines, if you are at a loss for how to bring these unions in, or what coming correct would look like, it may just not be time, because you will know when it's time. You will have clear guidance. But it may also mean that you're meant to go for direct prayer and ask specifically, what am I meant to do? God, Creator, Source, Divine, in my connection. We're always all meant to do that. Feminines, keep coming back to peace 1,000 times a day. If you get off track, if you go into suffering, bring yourself back there through meditation and prayer, and live there once you find that place. It's like energetic housekeeping. Don't let yourself spiral. Keep your frequency high and peaceful. Again, no news is good news. Like, these masculines are going to the divine for how to get to you. How beautiful. What can we see for their biggest challenge at this time? Knight of Swords in the inverse. That's a card of conversation, The winds of change, Lord of the winds and breezes. So because there are so many probabilities and potentials in the energy, and the masculines don't yet know with regard to whatever the karmic battle war they're waging is, it can change moment to moment with the different nuanced lessons and awarenesses playing out. Their biggest challenge right now in this period of great change, the great changeover I just heard, from karma to alignment, is staying balanced and being in this ascended mastery where we're no longer juggling, we're walking on water. So walking on water can be an analogy for balanced emotions, not letting our emotions run the show. And we did see the masculines very much getting an opportunity to take an authentic look at emotions because of these connections and the safety. So what is the advice for the feminines? Stay, the Nine of Pentacles, stay in your sovereignty, keep your frequency high. This is the lady in the garden, the lady in waiting, the Empress before the Emperor comes in. And on my table, her back, this lady's back, is to the masculines here as they do what they must do in order to come forward. It does look like there's minimal communication, or that it's more of an inside job, or actions speaking louder than words right now. For these connections that I'm reading on this close to union, there's a lot of unspoken knowing. The connection is real here. So there isn't a lot that needs to be hashed out or communicated directly. There is a deep trust and a deep knowing, a recognition, love. Like, these people I'm channeling for know each other. They know who each other is on a core character level. And there's a lot of spacious grace and joy. This divine feminine here is just holding a beautiful bird and adoring the opportunity to be one with the cosmos. I mean, there's a jaguar there too. This feminine is like hanging out with all that is, while these masculines balance out. I heard the gates of heaven and earth. So this can mean that the actions the masculines are taking right now are really setting the order in the universe, in their karmic universe, in their physical reality. Whatever the masculines are doing right now, they are balancing those things out so that a firm, stable foundation is laid, so that these connections and their highest timelines, their abundance, can move forward. Stable. This is what the Bible says when we're meant to build a house on solid rock, not sand. These masculines are doing that. What can we see for the solution to this challenge? Lord of Peace restored, the Two of Swords. So again, we get the Two of Swords, and here is the Four of Swords. So together that equals the Six of Swords, this progress going to the smooth sailing. But there are a lot of epiphanies that the masculines are having here because they are already all in feminines. These masculines are all in, and they're working on restoring the peace by tidying up loose karmic ends, by righting the karmic wrongs. This is karmic reconciliation, so that they are truly free from their karma. It's complete. They are restoring the peace. So right now, the Two of Swords can be a crossroads. It might feel to some that it's at odds, but it's not. It's necessary. These masculines are doing necessary cleanup right now of their karma, so that they can have true inner peace and they're not cutting corners or running. When they're running from you, feminines, if aligned ones run from their aligned counterpart, it's not really running from the aligned counterpart. It's these other things that are unresolved, that if they were to come towards the counterpart, they would be escaping. It would be escapism from these accountabilities and responsibilities and karmic scales that need to be balanced. So in order to have lasting peace, these masculines are understanding what they need to do right now, not to perpetuate or reinstate heartache in their lives and in the lives of the ones they love. What do the feminines need to know about this? Keep doing the inner work on your side of the energy, because if your masculines are going through something like this, even if you're not going through something, and many will be, you're still integrating, and the pieces, the cogs are still clicking into place energetically, spiritually, mentally, physically, emotionally, in tandem with the calibration going on as your masculine makes changes. So if you are all up in ego and you're triggered by the idea that you might still have work to do, work doesn't mean you're being punished or being told you're not intelligent, or it's not a clash of ego to say that there are still things that you can be aware of that are still paving the way to union. That doesn't mean you're at fault or somehow underdeveloped if that pertains. It's actually a blessing to get to witness consciously the changes that doing the inner work allows for. So the Eight of Pentacles is a card of specialization. This is taking things to a next level, becoming a master, becoming masterful. This is the artisan card. So instead of a hobby, you're moving into the fine art of love. Instead of dabbling, it's becoming a way of life. We go from the Eight of Coins to the Nine of Coins, which is the Empress in waiting. And then that 10 of Coins is the legacy, the click, the long-term success, the blend of these worlds for the betterment going forward. So these masculines are conscious of what they are doing right now. And they understand when these karmic things balance out. They now have, I heard, the time, energy, and resources to come into this connection with you, feminines. Whatever they're going through right now, these union-ready rites of passage, this has been the final thing that they have needed to address before they are able to come into union with you. What can we see for the near future? Oh, the Emperor and the Sun. So the grand reveal, these both came out in the inverse, but then ta-da, we get the Emperor coming forward, fully aware, fully changed, fully present, broad daylight, ready, willing, able, go time. So yeah, this is really, really beautiful. Son of the morning, this card says, so your Emperor may come forward in the morning with the rising sun. 3 little birds, I'm hearing. That's interesting, because this 1 little bird, 2 little birds, I'm getting that the 3rd little bird, look for birds as a sign. I'm not catching the words to Three Little Birds. Something about the rising sun. A new day. So, yeah. A little birdie might tell you something at this time that tips you off to your emperor. You know, you are high priestesses. If you are truly masterful and coming into divine true love union, you are very intuitive, but also here for the bliss and enjoyment of the grand reveal of love and your cosmic love story. What a blessing to be in the vicinity of sacred union. And so, yes, if you're at that level of consciousness, invariably there will be signs and things that give you hope and support and confirmation towards your union. You will never be left alone. You are not alone on this journey. In fact, it's a journey of unity consciousness. And so as you come into union, it will become more and more supportive, more and more of that reveal will show how deeply loved by all of existence that you really are, and by your masculine, and how you've been loved by your masculine all along. Wow. Justice. Our day will come. It's on the way. Darkest before the dawn. Not another day. Nary a day shall pass that I don't think of you. There are many. I'm just seeing the moon and the sun chasing around the earth, or, you know, around the sky, even though the earth is going around the sun. There is this cosmic clock and the scales of balance and justice. I'm just hearing fear not. It's all part of it. Everything you've gone through on this journey is part of it. Love wins. Just like the sun and moon are hung in the sky, so too this love is orchestrated by the divine. Trust, ye of little faith. I'm literally hearing repent for not believing in love. If you have asked for love, then love you shall receive. Trust the process, trust the journey, trust the divine. Trust your heart. Feminines really understand what it means to be receptive. These masculines are really learning what it means to give freely. I'm just really feeling to say to anybody who is in resonance with this message, send a prayer for the unions of all and this love unfolding on the planet. I wish that for every single one of us. So be it. Okay, many blessings, everyone. Bye for now.